For many golf fans around the world, Nick Price represents one of the most respected and accomplished figures the sport has ever seen. Born in Zimbabwe, Price rose through the ranks with determination, discipline, and an incredible work ethic that eventually made him one of the greatest golfers of his era. During the 1990s, he dominated the professional golf scene, winning multiple major championships and earning the admiration of fans and fellow players alike. Known for his calm demeanor, powerful swing, and relentless focus, Price became a symbol of professionalism and sportsmanship in the competitive world of golf. However, behind the impressive trophies and accolades lies a deeply emotional story that reflects the difficult realities many athletes face as they grow older and step away from the spotlight. At 69, the life of Nick Price carries moments that many fans might find surprisingly heartbreaking, not because of scandal or controversy, but because of the quiet challenges that come with time, change, and the fading of an era that once defined a person's identity. For decades, golf was not just a profession for Price. It was a passion that shaped nearly every aspect of his life. The long hours of practice, the intense pressure of major tournaments, and the constant travel around the world were all part of the routine that built his legendary career. Price reached the peak of the sport when he won major championships such as the PGA Championship and the Open Championship, and for a period in the mid-1990s he was ranked the #1 golfer in the world. His success was admired not only because of his victories but also because of his humility and integrity, qualities that made him one of the most respected figures on the professional tour. Yet, as the years passed, the realities of aging slowly began to change everything. Like many athletes, Price eventually had to confront the physical limitations that time inevitably brings. Golf may appear less physically demanding than some sports, but maintaining elite performance requires incredible precision, flexibility, and stamina. As the body begins to change, the competitive edge that once seemed effortless can become harder to maintain. For someone who spent decades performing at the highest level, stepping back from that intensity can be emotionally difficult. The cheers of massive crowds, the adrenaline of championship moments, and the identity built around competition gradually give way to quieter days and reflection. For many legendary athletes, this transition is one of the most challenging chapters of life. Another emotional element of Price's story is the sense of distance from the era that once defined him. The golf world has changed dramatically since his dominant years in the 1990s. New stars have emerged, technology has transformed the sport, and younger generations of fans may know his name more from history than from recent competition. While his legacy remains secure, the shift from being a central figure in the sport to a respected veteran can feel bittersweet. Still, those who know Price describe him as someone who has approached this stage of life with remarkable grace. He has remained connected to golf through senior competitions, mentoring, and appearances that celebrate the history of the sport. His legacy also lives on through the countless players and fans who were inspired by his example of discipline, humility, and dedication. When people describe the heartbreaking aspect of his story, it is less about tragedy and more about the universal truth that even the greatest champions must eventually step away from the spotlight. The man who once stood at the top of the golfing world now represents the passage of time itself, a reminder that greatness is not only measured by victories but also by how one carries themselves long after the applause fades. Nick Price's story is ultimately one of perseverance, humility, and quiet dignity, showing that even as life changes, the legacy of a true champion continues to inspire.